Well, hey, friends, so glad that you are with me here inside of our Backstage Pass. Super excited to have my friend Connie here today to talk to you about all the great things that have been happening in her life since she's been a part of Created to Thrive over the last few years. Connie, welcome to Backstage Pass. Glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm honored to be there, and it's a wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know folks will know your name from live Q&As and from the Facebook group and all that sort of thing, but for folks that are just getting to know you, why don't you kind of give us the thumbnail of who you are, what you do creatively, and where you are in the world?
Yes, I'm Connie Noftsier. I live just 50 miles from the Canadian border in New York State, close to the Adirondacks, and I make fiber art. I make sculptures out of embroidery, mushrooms, butterflies, wildflowers. I do things from nature, so I try to do them at their life size.
Yeah.
And I also own a bed and breakfast in the area, so I have a few things that I'm doing. I'm having classes here also, and yeah, that's what I do.
I love it. I love it. I love how your story is kind of, all the things that you love together, your bed and breakfast, your art, it all kind of has merged. I'm interested, maybe we could roll the tape back on just your creative expression and what you're doing with your fiber sculpture and all that. How did that begin to evolve? Was that something that you started in, or were you doing other kind of fiber art and then it morphed into this, or what was that journey like?
Yeah, so the journey began when I was 9. My mom got me some embroidery kits, and I was pretty much hooked right from the start. And so, yeah, I've been embroidering since I was 9. Sometimes it went into cross stitch, sometimes it went into crewel work,
Yep.
Just different things. A couple years ago, I saw someone had made a sculptural mushroom out of embroidery, and I'm like, oh, I so have to do that. So that kind of got everything started.
It's interesting, and it's kind of like me with baskets. Like, you do it for so long, and you've got the techniques down, the materials, all that, and I didn't even know that I was bored, but I think I was kind of bored and looking. And it's funny how the Lord will bring things along your path, just like you see this other thing, you're like, I didn't even know I was looking for this, but like, this is really ringing my bell. So have you switched fully into now sculptural work, or are you still doing some other kind of functional pieces as well?
No, pretty much sculptural. I do. I also do sonograms. They're stitched sonograms, and I do stitched aerial views of lakes and forests.
Wow.
And people's houses, that kind of thing. So yeah, I have a few things that can move around. I don't get bored, but it's still all embroidery.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's amazing how even within, I'm always talking about, finding that niche of what your work is. It's amazing when you limit your materials, you limit what you're doing. There is so much freedom in that still. And that's how that uniqueness is developed, which is really what I love about your work. You really have just a beautifully unique voice that's really emerging.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you've been in the mentoring program for a few years now. Talk to me about how that came about, and what was the impetus behind looking for help on your art journey.
Yes. So at the time, it was September, and it was a Artist Rise Up program I saw on Facebook. And I was like, at the time I was working as a landscape designer in a firm close to us. And so I would go out to clients' home and look at their stuff and talk to them and see how they use their area, and then create gardens for them and give them a quote. And we had crews that would go out and just do it for them.
Yeah.
So
and can I just say what everybody else is thinking right now, that Connie, you're too talented. Like, what is going on? You're doing landscaping, you're doing this, you're doing that. So, anyway, keep going.
Well, thank you. So I was doing that and had a bed and breakfast, and that's when I saw these sculptural mushrooms, and I'm like, I really would rather be doing that. And bed and breakfast and the landscaping were not working together anymore. I had to go in earlier to brief cruise to tell them what they need to do for the day. And it was too early. I should have been serving breakfast. So the two weren't working together very well. So, and I really just wanted to be working from home from then on. So when I did the Artist Rise Up, it really helped me to see, even though I had done embroidery for so many years and other things, watercolor, just other things.
Yeah.
I never really saw myself as an artist. So when I went through the Artist Rise Up, that's when I realized I am an artist.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So anyways, that was really good. I got into the program, and it was a little bit costly for me at the time.
Yeah, sure.
To do a whole year. And so I decided I was going to do the whole program in a year, go through all the modules. And because the embroidery or the landscape is seasonal, I had most of the winter up here. We can't do landscaping in the winter. So I had most of the winter. So I really hit the program pretty intense and was embroidering the whole time I was listening to everything. And so it worked well for me. I went through all the modules in less than a year.
Wow.
And decided at the end of the year, this is worth a lifetime membership. I am going for it. So, so I got the lifetime membership.
That's so awesome. A lot of times you can go through modules and you're learning and everything, but then I've just heard that so many times, like people come back around to it, or they'll watch an update or something like that. And something they heard 3 years ago or 2 years ago, now they're ready to hear it in a different way. And that's kind of what I'm hearing you say as well.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, the program has been wonderful. Got me through a lot of things, even during COVID when it was, sparse. I would just go and listen to Matt Tommy. It was a blessing, and the program still is a blessing.
That's awesome.
I highly recommend everyone listen to the modules, do the biz chat and the question day, but also I have a couple different groups of people that I meet with once a month on Zoom outside of the program, but they're in the program.
How cool.
And that's been wonderful. It's been very, very encouraging.
It's just good, especially when if you live in a rural area like I do, and I know you are kind of as well. You may not have folks, in your church that kind of get what you do is, creatively or whatever, or in your local area. And it's great to be able to reach out to folks that are in the program and have those meaningful conversations. And I love that. Talk about, Connie, it's one thing to say, I loved it, I felt better, it's, all this sort of thing. Talk about some of the practical, measurable things that have happened in your life and business, because you've seen some really big changes that have occurred.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The modules on how to start a website and the SEO stuff, invaluable. And the heart and mind stuff. Okay. So I was also a women's pastor at my church.
Wow. And
so had gone through heart and mind stuff with women for many years. So that was very familiar to me.
Yeah.
It was everything about your program, the people you quote and the books that you've read and all of that, it matches what my church and what I believe and have been involved in. So that was really good too.
Yeah. And since you brought that up, I'm just interested because, you've, as somebody that's pastored people and that sort of thing and helped them, get transformation, talk about, I guess, the connection that you have felt in particular in bringing your faith journey together with your art and business journey. Because a lot of times, I know I did this, you kind of keep them in these silos, and our approach has always been to kind of this holistic sort of kingdom view. So how did that help you, experience transformation in your life? And have you seen that like with others that you've helped too along the way?
How did the program help with the heart and mind part? I guess I hadn't thought about that part of it. Let's see. I think if you can connect to Jesus daily, and hear his voice and listen to the things that he puts his finger on that he wants to work on.
Yeah.
That will get you the greatest amount of breakthrough. If you're listening for the key that he drops into your spirit, that witnesses with your spirit, and that is something that comes across in the program, something that I did with many women over the past. So I would say that's a key.
Yeah. I think I've just been amazed over the years at the amount of people who love Jesus. They're in church doing the best they know how to do and that sort of thing, but nobody's ever taught them the practicality of exactly what you're talking about, learning to hear God's voice and recognize what he's highlighting, and you kind of co-labor with him in that. And we spend a lot of time, I think, in life trying to get God on board with what we're trying to do, as opposed to coming into agreement with what he's already doing. And like you said, that's a lot easier way to go, just to get on board with the wave that he's creating, as opposed to trying to create our own. So,
yes.
Well, Connie, I would love for you to, as we're, using these backstage passes to encourage folks and that sort of thing in their journey. Are there any nuggets as far as ways that you went through the program, things that you did that were really helped move you forward, or just any general encouragement that you'd give somebody that's listening today?
I would say that the modules that talked about how to enter shows and exhibits and festivals, those kinds of things were very helpful, because I had never been exposed to that part of it.
Sure.
So that was really good. So last year I pressed in and I did all those things: shows, exhibits, festivals. And what I found was that the local festivals, the ones right here in my county, were not very profitable. There would be tons of people, but no one was buying it. They would love it, but no one was buying it. I live very rural, so the economy's not great here. So I did 4 festivals right in my town last year. I think I made $60.
Yeah, so not profitable, right?
All 4 of them. And so I had kind of decided it's not even worth my time of taking my stuff and all of that. But on the last festival, there was a lady that said, "Oh, I am interested in your stuff, and can I come to your house and look at?" Because I didn't take everything. Yeah. And I said, "Sure." Well, it was in September, and she came and she loved the stuff, but then she said, I just got my land taxes. I'm going to have to pay for those. So I'm not going to buy anything today. So I was a little disappointed. Well, in January of this year, that same lady, who lives maybe 10, 15 miles from me, came and bought almost $3,000 worth of stuff.
She got her check, right?
In January. How crazy. And then she said, would you do a commission? Wow. And I said, sure. And so I did a couple things for her. We didn't have a contract. She just said, have you ever thought about a monarch butterfly? And I said, yeah, that's actually next on my list. So she didn't actually commission me, but she requested kind of. Yeah, sure. Well, in the meantime, I was doing a swallowtail butterfly. And when she saw that, she decided she wanted that. So she just bought that yesterday. I finished it last week.
I love it. Well, you never know, the little things you go to, you think this is a dead end. The Lord brings it around in such beautiful ways.
Yeah. So I am no longer saying I don't have any local clients. I'm no longer cursing local. Yeah. And,
well, I think when you can, as I try to encourage people, you think about marketing and doing those shows as marketing, as sowing seeds, as developing relationships. And as you're faithful to do that, God's faithful to bring the increase. And also, right, you're testing and measuring, right? You're seeing what's working for you, what doesn't. You can adjust as you move on. And that's how we all grow. I wish there were a book for everybody, right? This is the good show for you. But we don't know until we go, right? So it's just part of it. So, Well, Connie,
Yeah.
listen, I love your work. I hope you know that I've always loved your work every time I've gotten a chance to see it. And I know people are going to be interested after hearing you talk today. So where is the best place that they can find all that you're doing online and see your work and connect further?
Sure. ConnieNoftsierStudio.com is my website, and Connie Noftsier Studio on Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome. Awesome. And we'll have all those links right here in the description so people can just click right on there. But Connie, it's always a great pleasure to hear the great things that are going on in your life. Thanks for taking a moment to share with everybody today. And I hope you have an incredible rest of your year and can't wait to hear the next great stories that you come back with.